Well, oh, got to get the cardboard out of here. That's nothing good to see. We're going to talk about a news story out, and I'm going to explain to you some really easy identifiers of this real estate crash. Also, I'm going to answer a question from someone from the real estate crash course and just see where this goes. This is the first live stream I've ever done on this channel. So you are not on the Economic Ninja channel. You are on the Real Estate Ninja channel, okay? So let me do this. Before we get into the story, which is about concessions being offered in nearly 50% of home sales, I want to share with you this question that came from a subscriber of the crash course. And if you have bought the crash course, just so you know, the last 2 videos are up. It is complete. I think it's 28 videos, 28 videos, I think. And the course is done. So, whew, I'm tired. Now I've got already ideas for 2 other classes. I'm pretty pumped. So anyway, here we go. Here's the question. Ninja, thank you so much for all your work. You've been super inspirational for us. Very excited about the course as well as this crash and our future because we're getting prepared, not scared. Thanks. Thanks to you, we're saving up some cash, but have also made quite a few silver and gold purchases as well. We've traded our newer cars for older, less flashy truck to lower our monthly payments and work towards future goals of hobby farming. That's pretty awesome. She found me through Patera's Appalachian, I always mispronounce that word, homestead. Thank you, everyone that hit the thumbs up, by the way. Here's the question. Because timing is everything, she says, seems to be hitting us all at once, and we don't understand what our best move would be. And she says that she knows I cannot give financial advice. So here's the question. My husband and I live in Wisconsin. He got a new job relocating us to anywhere in the Western region. We would like Montana, Wyoming, or Idaho because it's a red state. Don't blame you. So our house is on the market with an offer inspection this weekend. Do we rent or buy? I get this question all the time. I'm gonna give you a story about something that happened in my life in a second, and then we're gonna get into the news story. Okay. All right. Do we rent or buy? We want to buy because we want to garden. We have chickens, want a dairy cow, and some control when everything hits the fan. We also have 2 dogs and 3 cats, which make finding a rental hard, and renting equals a step backwards in throwing away our money. Our relocation package, now check this out, also pays all the closing costs if we buy and move into a home. We want to rent because we can save and hold money, pay off debt with our home's equity after we sell, get prepared for an awesome deal on a home. And our relocation package would pay half our rent for every month up to 2 years. Without really understanding how crashes play out well, we're young in our 30s and we didn't pay attention in the early 2000s. We're at a loss for what to do strategically. Any thoughts? All right. So this is from Nikki and Kyle. So congratulations on the awesome opportunity. Let me explain something. In 2018, I sold my house. Very, very hard thing to do. It was the first time I was a renter since the year 2000. Now, with that being said, there's some things that we went through. Yes, it was hard emotionally, but we were able to sort of reset, and we had our money in the bank. We had it separated in a bunch of banks. I wasn't worried about that. But I was worried about the lack of write-off and things like that. But what it really did is really concrete a couple things in our lives, and that was getting back to the basics and family. And also, we were able to watch the market. Now, I sold my house in 2018 because I believed the market was going to tank back then, because it actually was. The stock market was hurting. Banks were not trusting each other. And then, of course, came along COVID. That changed everything, right? Now, we were able to get into a house because an amazing deal came our way, and we took advantage of it. If it was me and I was in your position, when you're moving because of a new job, there is not always the safety that job will be there when times get rough. All right. And the last thing you'd want to do is buy a home with a higher mortgage rate and be in a new place with a new job where you're possibly the low one on the totem pole and you can get axed. Okay. That's just one thought. Another thought is don't worry about the insecurity of not owning a home. You're literally, and we're going to get into a story right now about concessions. 50% of the home sales right now are going through concessions. Why? Because they cannot sell them. All right. So you are in a very interesting time in life. Also, as interest rates continue to rise, home prices are going to continue to fall. So do you want to buy now so you have a lower interest rate? or do you want to wait until interest rates are higher and the actual price of the home gets down? I teach that in the course. If it was me, I would be renting, especially if half of my rent is paid for and you're able to get completely out of debt. On a balance sheet standpoint, you're going to look much more attractive to banks when you go to get a home if you're completely out of debt, you have a good down payment, and you're thinking clearly. All right. So this job is giving you, yes, the opportunity for them to pay part of your closing fees for a new house, but also the opportunity to pay half your rent. You know, there's a lot being said when you're rushed into a deal and you're moving out of state, you don't have time to pick the town and really get to know the area. You can make a really bad decision. So renting, and I'll be honest with you, as me and my wife leave California, we are not going to be buying a house right away. We are going to rent in a town, and we're going to go super light, you know, just the bare minimum furniture, and we're going to move around a few places for, you know, 6 months here, 6 months there, because we're going to get an idea and a feel for what the area is like. We want to make the right decision at the right time. So now there's that answer right there. Let's dive into the concessions. This is a news story right here out of realtrends.com. To the 103 people that hit the thumbs up, thank you so much. This is my first live stream on the Real Estate Ninja channel. It's entitled Concessions Offered in Nearly 50% of Home Sales. Sellers gave concession to home buyers in 45.5% of home sales in the 3 months ending February 28th. This is up from 31% a year ago. It says right here, home buyers are doing just everything in their control to buy homes in 2021, offering over asking price or skipping inspections to seal the deal. However, the housing market has done a complete 180 since that point, and sellers are having to be more malleable these days. Case in point, home sellers gave buyer concessions in 45.5% of home sales during the 3 months ending February 28th, according to a new Redfin report. This is exactly the point right now that I want you seeing what is happening on the seller side of the market. Sellers need to bend, and sellers are frustrated. A lot of them waited way too long, and now they're finding themselves having to do things they don't want to do. Now, what's very interesting is that we have seen inventory increase over the country, but nothing like what you're about to see in the next 12 months. The reason why is because still, primarily, the only people selling a home are people that have an extra property. They're looking to downsize their portfolio, their risk to downside in the real estate market. And also people like who I just talked about that are selling their home because of a job change. All right. Besides that and death, those are the only reasons people are selling homes right now. So inventory is picking up, but not picking up in a panic mode. Okay. You're going to see that next year because you're going to see foreclosures start to take over. You're going to see banks start to the pre-foreclosure process. You're going to see some people straight up panic. Some people that they've been on the sidelines, they're waiting to sell, and now they're getting all of this bad data, like what we're going to talk about now, but it's good for you because you're waiting, and then they're going to bail out of the market. Some of these people have literally 50% of the worth of the house is in equity, right? So they have a long way to be able to drop prices. Now it says right here, that's an increase of over 31% compared to the same period in 2022, and is also the highest share of concessions during any 3-month period in the brokerage's records, which date back to 2020. Now, obviously, that's no big deal because since 2020, real estate's been booming because of COVID. For the report, Redfin considered a concession to be anything the seller provided to help reduce the buyer's total cost of purchasing the home outside of a lower sales price. In this case, concessions include the cost of repairs, money toward closing, and mortgage rate buy downs, among other things. Here's a quote: "Any home with a roof that's over 8 years old is just sitting. Buyers don't want to put any additional funds into repairs," said Elena Fleck, a Redfin real estate agent based in Palm Beach, Florida. "I had a few sellers offer credits for new roofs to close the deal." Now, credits are really, let me stop there real quick. Credits are a really neat thing because you can only get so much money in credits before the mortgage, if you're borrowing money for the home, where the mortgage company say, okay, no more of this. We can't do this. All right. And all lenders have different numbers or ratios. Credits are neat because if you get a credit for a roof, or let's say that roof repair is $8,000 and you get that transferred into escrow, that's $8,000 less that you need to come up with out of your pocket. Now, let's say you had, let's say just $50,000 by house, right? If you get a credit now, instead of you were needing to use that $50,000 for your escrow fees, your attorney fees, and your down payment, and you get 8,000 in credits to go into escrow, or your attorney takes it and starts working the numbers. Now, instead of 50,000 to come in, you just need 42,000. So you can see now that $8,000 is an emergency account. You decide when that home needs the roof. How do you decide? Well, honestly, if it was me, when the roof starts leaking. And the reason why is because that $8,000 credit is so much more valuable in your emergency fund than going and just putting on a new roof, right? A lot of people get very confused when they buy a home and they feel like they just got to fix it up right away. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm the opposite. I like more emergency funds in my bank account, or funds that I can then take to identify another property in a down market and buy that as well. And again, get more seller concessions. All right. It says right here, Redfin also found that a large percentage of sellers are slashing their asking prices or accepting offers below the asking price. Nearly a quarter of home sales, 25.2%, included both a concession and a final sale price below the list price during the 3 months ending February 28th. So this is really picking up rapidly. The downside of this real estate market is getting exciting, but trust me, you wait one more year and you haven't seen anything yet. So these are the things that you use as these examples to strengthen your conviction that the market's going down and you're not believing some money guru out there that wants to sell you a house or use his real estate agency to buy and sell homes, because we aren't there yet. All right. This is why I wanted to teach people how to identify where you are in not only the real estate cycle, but the home pricing cycle. Two totally different things, because they're based off of emotion. One's based off of data, one's based off of emotion. All right. And again, thank you to the 212 people that hit the thumbs up. Oh, 213. Thank you. Buyers today are way more demanding and selective. They're willing to wait to find the perfect house, which wasn't the case during the pandemic housing boom, Fleck said. Now, think about this. We have literally watched this turn 180 degrees in less than a year. And I mean, man, it hit a 180-degree turn. So can you only imagine this time next year when mortgage rates are higher than they are? And I know it sounds crazy, barring an absolute utter collapse in the stock market, we're not going to see the Fed pivot. We're not going to see that. They'll keep adding to their balance sheet to push this further. They're going to keep pushing up rates to help quell inflation. Okay, so that's something you really need to understand. So when you see that, think about how that's happening. I see the notes about UBS taking over Credit Suisse. I'm about to dive onto a live stream right after this on the Economic Ninja channel about that. All right, so it says right here, high mortgage rates and home prices have caused many buyers to pause their home buying plans, and in turn, this trend has become increasingly common to help seal the deal with buyers. When the mortgage rate was hovering near 3%, the higher demand for homes tempered expectations for concessions. According to the report, pandemic boom towns and coastal markets have seen the biggest increases in seller concessions. Now, think about how important this is. Okay. All the places that are blowing up because everybody wanted to live there, right? And coastal towns where you were told this isn't going to go down because this is such a desirable area. That's why everyone was moving there, right? You hear it from agents all the time. Agents are really good at one thing: telling you something that will hopefully turn you into a buyer or a seller so that they make a commission. End of story. I am the worst real estate agent ever because I'm an investor first. Honestly. Oh gosh. And so all those places where they were telling you, you better buy now because these prices are not going down. This is a highly desirable area. Now, those are the places, the boom towns and the coastal areas, where sellers are giving the highest concessions. Why? Because they rose the fastest and they're going to drop the steepest. That's the coolest, exciting part about buying real estate in a crash. Seattle saw the biggest increase in seller concessions for the 3 months ending February 28th. Sellers in Seattle gave concessions to buyers in more than half of all home sales during that period, up from 20% a year prior. That's a massive change. Las Vegas, Denver, San Diego or Santiago. And Phoenix have also seen significant increases in seller concessions. On the other hand, check this out. New York saw the lowest share of seller concessions during the same period, with just 16.7% of sellers giving concessions to buyers during that time. The rates of sellers offering concessions were also low during that same time in San Jose, Boston, Philadelphia, and Austin. And let me just share this real quick. I think that is, especially in San Jose and Austin, dealing with very, very stubborn and very uneducated sellers. The reason why I say that is because those places are dropping price-wise like a rock. So that is, maybe there's a lot of people in these areas that just don't have enough equity in their homes to be able to support that. Look, I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody that supported this channel. Guys, for everyone that bought the real estate crash course, it is complete. It's done. Finished. So go check out those new classes, and I hope you guys get something out of this, because this is an exciting time. And thanks again to everybody who hit the thumbs up button, and to everyone that hit subscribe. This is not the Economic Ninja channel. This is, I'm his brother. Okay, I'll admit it. All right, guys, the Real Estate Ninja, that's not even my thing. Bye. I'm out.